Hello and welcome to this review of Bird Dog. Here we got Bird Dog Kentucky Whiskey. I bought this at Walmart about a year ago, 2 years ago actually, I think. And just getting around to it. It's Kentucky bourbon whiskey. It doesn't say straight whiskey for some reason. Select stock, bluegrass crafted. It's got a photograph of a dog on it, and it's got a drawing of a dog above that. And it's 80 proof, 40% alcohol. It says Kentucky bourbon whiskey, bottled for Western Spirits by Three Springs Bottling Company, Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'll have to research. I looked on the Bird Dog website, and but you see, if I find a website for Three Springs, they're not going to show this. It might just be a contract distiller. I looked on the Bird Dog website, and they have all kind of flavors: blackberry whiskey, apple flavored whiskey, peach flavored whiskey, and so forth. But they don't show any regular whiskey. Okay, and they have a different bottle design now. They have like the flat short neck bottle, goes like this on both sides, like arches. So they don't show this thin long neck bottle. All right. Do they still make a regular bourbon unflavored? I don't know. They're not showing this on the website. I think Walmart was getting rid of this because it was discontinued. I get that feeling because they had it for $10. And I know for sure Bird Dog is not a $10 whiskey. Their flavored products are not expensive. You know, they might run, I never buy these kind of things typically, so maybe $25 at the most. It's got a real wooden cap and a real cork. I saw 1 or 2 video reviews for this. One was from East Coast LQ Reviews up there in Rhode Island, and I'll see what he says about it. I didn't watch it yet. Let me moisturize the cork, although it does have some moisture on it. Yeah, and it's got a real cork. It's not like particle cork or rubber neoprene. It's a real cork. This was had a closeout tag, $10. I said, well, I've heard the name Bird Dog. I've never tried any of their products. I'm not looking to buy it, but for $10, I'll buy it. Okay, and I never saw it in Walmart again. And they typically do that. If they get rid of a product, they just more or less sell it below cost. And in Louisiana, I talked to a distributor guy. He said in Louisiana, you are allowed to sell liquor below cost. He said, but you can't sell it in that same store again for an entire calendar year. I don't know how they can track that, but that's what he told me, and he seems to be knowledgeable because he does a lot of the closeouts and knows what's coming down the line for cheap. Okay, he's the guy that found me the $9 bottle of Evan Williams 1783 Heroes Edition. $9. Okay. On closeout, but then they just brought in the next year's same label, different year for full price, $20-something. Okay, anyway, it's like I said, I don't know why they're not saying straight bourbon, because it has no age statement, which means it's at least 4 years old. A straight bourbon only has to be aged 2 years. It's Kentucky, so all the whiskey is coming from Kentucky. I've got another bourbon here, same thing. It doesn't have an age statement. Oh no, it does. It says 3 years. Well, it's still a year longer than is required. And it's sour mash, but it doesn't say straight. So I don't guess they have to say that, but usually they would say it if it's straight bourbon versus just regular bourbon. All right. Anyway, I guess Bird Dog makes basically all of their money from the flavored whiskeys. whiskey liqueurs, which are very popular. I know that. Okay. But I don't have experience with them. So here we go. The nose. And I'll see what I can find online as far as scoring. But I may not find this on Untapped. Distiller might have it listed. I don't think they've been around too long. Well, I'll say too long, maybe in the last 25 or 30 years, and probably not that long. But whatever I find, I'll put it in the notes below. But like I say, I tried to find this on their website, and it's not listed. There's a little nuttiness on it, like almond or walnut, and certainly corn. Bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. The other 49% can be anything else. Can be 100% corn, in fact, but it has to be at least 51%. And then you can add rye or wheat or malted barley, whatever you choose to add, and whatever ratio or percentage, it's up to the distiller. All right, let's go with the taste. So I already got a little bit on my mouth. All right. Yeah, still getting that nuttiness, like I say. I was saying almond, but I think it's more like walnut or pecan. Light to medium body. Dry finish. But corn is so sweet, so you do get like a sugar water aspect in the flavor itself. Bourbon tends to have that because look how often corn is used to sweeten soda pop. Corn syrup, usually high fructose corn syrup, a type of corn syrup. And you can go to the grocery store and buy corn syrup for baking. If you look at the bottles carefully, usually add a little vanilla in that. And they use the corn syrup in pancake syrup. So it's a versatile product. Corn on the cob, maize, versatile. And they use it as a filler in beer. They call it brewer's syrup. Much like the one I was referencing, Winn-Dixie. Now that I think of it, I don't think the Winn-Dixie says sour mash. But the WD Liquors bourbon from Buffalo Trace, the Sazerac company, they try to obscure that fact on there. But that's a private label. I thought it had a good flavor, but it was a little bland. But then I said, well, they got a handle, a big 1,750 milliliter plastic bottle for $15.99, so you can't really complain much. You know what you're getting for that price. It's not going to be fabulous. Didn't have any off flavors or nastiness. It just was, it was bland. And that's the story here. It's dull. It is not a bad flavor. But it's a general lack of flavor. There might be a little mintiness. So if I found out this was 5 to 8% rye whiskey in the blend, I wouldn't be shocked. And in fact, I would expect that. There could be a slight breadiness here, so could it be a 5% malted barley in there? Malted barley whiskey. Malt whiskey. Yes, I think that could be the case. It doesn't seem to have softness that you get with wheat whiskey though. So if I found out this was 87% corn, 8% rye, 5% malt whiskey, that would sound about right. So for $10, I'm happy. Of course, that's not the regular price. It was probably $24.99. I'm going to see if I can find prices on the internet. They might have stores that still have it stocked. When I saw the label, it looked like an older label, older style label. you know, with the photograph of the dog, and it just looked like something from like 2005. I like the fact that it's real wood on the cap and real cork, but it's a sourced whiskey, like I was saying, bottled for Western Spirits by Three Springs Bottling Company. I'm going to research that. There is a bourbon company in Bowling Green that I'm aware of. They make the Winchester Rye. That same company had gotten this idea. Well, their original owner, he died not long after he started the company. He was sort of elderly, but he had pioneered this product of expediting aging using pressure, you know, like Superman takes a charcoal briquette and he squeezes it under super pressure and it's a diamond. In the comic books, it's a diamond, but it's already cut. You know, it didn't make sense. But that seemed to have been abandoned because I was looking at their website and they weren't really talking about that expedited process anymore. And I think fans of bourbon were saying, oh, that's wrong. You know, it might taste the same theoretically, but you got to age it. You got to age it. Don't do this funny stuff. He just was a scientist before he was a distiller. So he was saying, he was just looking at the scientific principles of how that works. And he was trying to do that. But anyway, I'm going to check it out. I don't look to find any other reviews. If I look at 2 video reviews and a handful of written reviews, that's probably what I guess we would expect. So if you've had any experience with Bird Dog bourbon, not called straight bourbon, just bourbon, Kentucky bourbon whiskey, let me know. The score, take one more little tiny sip. It does have some nice little character, like the nuttiness. That's the main feature. The sweetness is there, not in the finish so much. The nuttiness, like walnut or pecan, I think it deserves it's like a 8.3. It's a B. It's good. I think the Winn-Dixie was about the same, like good, but nothing too remarkable. But yeah, glad I paid the closeout price. All right, so 8.3 out of 10, a B. Good product. If you see it, you find an old relic, most likely. Watch me find out tomorrow that's currently in production. I'll be ashamed. So, les bon temps relais. I'm going to end this review by saying y'all go to Kentucky and take a distillery tour.